never told many people about this because even now, I still don't know what we actually saw that night. Most people would probably say it was just homeless people or our imaginations getting out of control. And honestly, maybe that's true. But there are parts of that night I still can't explain. This happened back when I was 19. Me and my friends had just graduated high school, and like a lot of stupid teenagers, we were obsessed with abandoned places. Around my hometown, there was one place everyone talked about more than anywhere else. An abandoned psychiatric hospital, hidden deep in the woods outside town. The hospital shut down sometime in the late 80s, after a fire destroyed part of the building. Depending on who you talked to, you'd hear different stories about why it closed. Some people said several patients died in the fire. Others claimed terrible things happened there long before the fire even started. Every older person in town seemed to know somebody who knew somebody that used to work there.
Growing up, the stories about that place were everywhere. People said lights still appeared in the windows late at night, even though the power had been cut decades ago. Hunters claimed they heard screaming deep in the woods nearby. Some people said drifters stayed there sometimes, but nobody ever stayed long. My older cousin swore he explored it once when he was younger. He told me there were tunnels underneath the building that stretched under the forest for miles. He also said he heard someone calling his name underground, even though nobody else was there. I never really believed him. Still, the place always stayed in the back of my mind. One cold October night, me and 3 friends finally decided we were going to feed ourselves. There was me, my friend Tyler, my friend Marcus, and my friend Jordan. Tyler had somehow found directions online from an old forum post. According to whoever wrote it, there was an abandoned maintenance road leading to the property that nobody watched anymore. Around midnight, we left town in my truck.
The drive out there already felt wrong. The farther we got from town, the quieter everything became. No houses, no traffic, just endless woods and fog rolling across the road. Eventually, Tyler told me to turn onto this narrow dirt road hidden between 2 huge trees. It barely even looked like a road anymore. Branches scraped against the sides of my truck while weeds brushed underneath us. Marcus kept joking around, saying we were probably heading straight into a horror movie. Nobody really laughed. About 10 minutes later, we saw the hospital. Even now, I can still picture it perfectly. It sat on top of a hill surrounded by dead trees and thick fog. The building was massive. Parts of the roof had collapsed, windows were shattered, and one entire wing looked blackened from the old fire. It looked less like a building and more like something rotting. The strangest part was how quiet it was. No insects, no wind, nothing. I parked near a broken chain link fence, and we climbed through with flashlights. As soon as we got close to the entrance, I noticed old wheelchairs scattered around the courtyard. Rusted stretchers, too. One wheelchair sat tipped over beside a dried fountain full of dark water. Jordan immediately got uncomfortable. He kept saying the place felt off. The front doors were already hanging open when we walked inside. The smell hit us instantly. Mold, wet wood, and something stale underneath it that I can't really describe. Inside, it looked frozen in time.
Hospital beds still sat in some rooms. Papers covered the floor. Paint peeled off the walls in long strips. We found an old nurse's station with folders and broken equipment scattered everywhere. Someone had spray-painted messages all over the walls. Get out. Don't go below. Leave while you can. Most of it was probably just dumb graffiti, but standing there in the middle of the night, it definitely got to us a little. We spent maybe 20 minutes exploring the first floor before Marcus found a stairwell leading underground. The basement door was cracked open. The second I felt cold air coming up those stairs, I didn't want to go down there anymore. Jordan immediately said no. Tyler and Marcus, of course, wanted to keep going. Eventually, we all followed because nobody wanted to stay upstairs alone. The basement was worse than the rest of the hospital. The hallways were narrow and damp, with pipes running across the ceiling. Water dripped constantly somewhere in the distance. Some parts of the floor were flooded with black water. Then we found the rooms. Small metal doors lined the hallway, each with tiny windows. A few still had old restraints attached to rusted beds inside. That was the point where Tyler stopped acting excited. Nobody said much after that. The deeper we went, the colder it got. At one point I noticed our footsteps sounded strange, almost like there was another set following slightly behind us.
I turned around twice. Nothing was there. Then Jordan suddenly stopped walking. He whispered, "Did you guys hear that?" We all froze. At first, I didn't hear anything. Then, somewhere farther down the hallway, came this metallic scraping sound. Slow, like metal dragging against concrete. Marcus called out asking if somebody was down there. No answer. A few seconds later, we heard it again. Closer this time. Tyler nervously laughed and said it was probably pipes or water, but nobody really believed that. We kept moving anyway. Eventually, we reached this long concrete tunnel at the end of the basement. It looked like some kind of underground maintenance tunnel connecting different buildings together. The tunnel disappeared completely into darkness. Jordan immediately said we needed to leave. Then Tyler pointed his flashlight down the tunnel. There was somebody standing at the far end. At first, I honestly thought it was a mannequin or something. The figure was tall and completely still, too dark to see clearly. Marcus yelled out asking who was there. No response. Then the figure slowly tilted its head to the side. I can still remember how unnatural it looked.
Tyler tried convincing himself it was probably another explorer messing with us. Then the figure took one step forward. The sound echoed through the tunnel. We all backed up without even thinking. Another step. That was enough for Jordan. He turned and started running back down the hallway immediately. The rest of us followed. While we were running, I heard footsteps behind us. Fast footsteps. Not just one person either. Several. We sprinted through the basement trying to find the stairs again. Every hallway suddenly looked the same. My flashlight was shaking so badly I could barely see. Then Marcus slipped in water and slammed into the floor hard. He yelled for us to wait. I turned around just long enough to see dark shapes standing at the far end of the hallway behind him. 3 of them. Maybe 4. Completely still. Watching us. Marcus scrambled back up and we kept running. We finally found the stairwell and bolted upstairs as fast as we could. I swear the entire time I could hear footsteps below us, following close behind. When we reached the lobby, we stopped dead. The front entrance doors were shut. Not only shut, chained from the outside.
For a second, none of us moved because it made absolutely no sense. Those doors were open when we came in. Jordan started panicking while Marcus searched for another way out. That's when we heard footsteps upstairs. Slow footsteps crossing directly above us. Then something heavy slammed against the floor overhead. Tyler shined his flashlight upward toward the broken ceiling. Something moved up there. Fast. Marcus finally found a side exit through a collapsed hallway, and we all ran for it. The second we got outside, we heard screaming coming from inside the hospital. Not normal screaming. It sounded distorted and wrong. We ran all the way back to my truck without stopping. About halfway down the dirt road back toward town, Tyler suddenly told me to stop the truck. I asked him why. He just pointed behind us. Standing in the middle of the road was someone wearing what looked like a hospital gown. Just standing there, motionless in the fog, too far away to see clearly. After a few seconds, the figure slowly lifted one arm and pointed directly at us. I hit the gas immediately. Nobody talked during the drive home. The next morning, Tyler checked the videos he recorded on his phone. Almost everything from inside the basement was corrupted. Most of the footage was just static and distorted audio, except for one clip. At the very end, right before the video cuts out completely, you can hear a voice whisper clearly into the microphone. "You shouldn't have left."